Now, one of the things that we try to do when we know we're going to die is to get our affairs in order. Sometimes we're forced to move out of our homes into a hospital or a nursing home. And we feel lonely because it's not really our home. Well, God knows all about that feeling because He talks about heaven as being our home, our real home. Listen.
John, I'd like to give one more figure of speech. In fact, it's not really a figure of speech because it is a reality. And that is the fact that heaven is our home. You remember in John chapter 14 where Jesus said to disciples who were discouraged, and they were fearful, of course, about the future, knowing that He was going to die. They were beginning to understand that. He said to them, "Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house there are many dwelling places. If it were not so, I would have told you." And then He says, "I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go, I will come again." You remember the preacher who said, well, Jesus is a carpenter, and He's been working for thousands of years to get this place ready. Well, I want you to know that Jesus Christ is God. And in a moment of time, just by speaking the word, that place can be ready. But it has many different dwelling places. Well, you know, that means that there is enough room in heaven for the Old Testament saints. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And by the way, John, if you want to talk to Abraham, that's fine. And you can talk to him as long as you like, because we do have all of eternity, and I will get my turn too. There are plenty of people I want to talk to. Of course, the major focus of heaven is Jesus Christ, but there's no question but that the fellowship of the saints is going to be a part of it, and we're going to emphasize that when we talk about heaven in a future program. And there will be enough room for the New Testament saints, all the people that you wanted to speak to, the people who blessed you because of the books that they wrote and the sermons they preached and the lives they lived. We're all going to be together. Heaven is our home. Now, you know, I happen to have come from a good home. So I always look forward to going home. I remember in college, you know, you'd finish that last exam and then you'd get on the first bus or take the first train because you wanted to be home. Well, heaven is our home. Isn't that wonderful? You remember Enoch in the Old Testament. It says that Enoch walked with God and then he was not, for God took him. A little girl in Sunday school said when her mother asked, "What did you study in Sunday school?" She said, "Well, you know, we studied about this man who used to take these long walks with God. And one day God said to him, 'Enoch, you are so far from your home, you're much closer to my home, so why don't you just come and live with me?'" Well, that's the way it is. At the end of the day, we go to live with God.